Yes, and that's the point, isn't it, Eamon? Because as David Gazzard said there, politicians want and need to show they're listening to people's concerns and show that as well. It doesn't always fit with where the economic trajectory sits.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Kieran. But having said that, if there is a treasurer in these recent times who could pull it off, it's definitely this one. I think you've got to look at his performance over the term to date. He's done a lot in terms of trying to get inflation to at least level off and try and get it trending the right way. And sure, that's been going okay up until yesterday. And, there's still the sort of forecast going into next year where there could be an election is once they get past this sort of little uplift, or projected uplift, it'll start to go down. So, but when you look at his record and you look at his performance and the other things that have occurred, I reckon he is the guy. I mean, he's been very upfront and having to acknowledge the fact he's got to balance both of those things. A real need, as David said, and a real desire to get some more support from households, but also keeping an eye on inflation. And David, you wouldn't know, would you?
And as I touched on
the week before budget at the moment.
No. Well, there are criticisms of Jim Chalmers, and he's got his critics, yes. But David, you've seen and worked very closely with Peter Costello over a long period of time, and Jim Chalmers is one of the best communicators in his side of politics right now. And if anyone's going to be able to navigate it, well, there's a lot of responsibility on his shoulders at the moment to do that.
Yeah, look, he's a good communicator, no doubt about that, but his experience goes to entirely one budget. So we're at a very difficult time at the moment. The thing I think that's going to be concerning the Treasurer is that he actually can't meet the demands of the community. So at a time when they expect relief from him, they expect a tax cut, they've got used to treasurers like Costello who delivered tax cuts. They'll be all looking at that table in the papers the day after the budget, and there won't be any relief. And the problem for Jim Chalmers is he would like to be communicating now, but in the lead up to the budget, it is all bashings in WA, more detainees possibly being released, a wrangle with the coalition over detention laws, violence in Alice Springs, pro-Palestinian riots and demonstrations and hate speech on our campuses. It's a security debate, not an economic debate, a fiscal debate. And Jim Chalmers will find this very frustrating because it is not allowing him to deliver the messages that he needs to.
That's, again, in the lead up to a budget, it's all about getting a bit of, in our political jargon, clear air, Eamon. He hasn't had as much as he would have liked.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think the timing of Friday is definitely not helpful. I mean, just quickly to pick up on David's point, I mean, his experience might be one budget, but it was a pretty good one. Got to say, he did bring on a surplus, and he's about to do that again, which is something the coalition could never do. But he was also Wayne Swan's chief of staff. Let's not forget that. So he's had an integral role in the preparation of previous ones as well. But just in terms of distraction and timing, this isn't great. Having said that, you have seen the Prime Minister flanked by Catherine King and some of his other colleagues. They've been in Queensland, they've been in Western Sydney, they've been in Western Australia now today, talking about all the things they're trying to do to reinvigorate that economy. And, I think there was once a time back in the old days where there was budget night, budget day, and that's just grown over the years to budget week and budget month and now budget quarter. Well, it's just an ongoing runway of announcements leading into the actual budget itself.
It is indeed, and I look forward to seeing you both next Wednesday as we wrap up Budget 2024. Gents, thanks so much for that. We'll talk to you soon.